there's proof of it. And I always bump my head on the hatch when I'm coming out of the cabin, and I did it this time too. Before we go down the river, I always come back and look, and you'll notice it's blowing a little white smoke when you first crank it up, since it mixes the oil with the gas in this type of marine engine. And you see a little oil burning. And then I always look for the water, which means the water pump is working and it's fueling the engine. I don't know if you can see it there or not, but there's a bunch of red wasps flying around the engine back there, and that's this time of the year in Alabama. You have to watch out for red wasps. They'll pop it to you, and it's about like getting a good strong tetanus shot if you've ever had one of those. We'll be careful of the red wasp. Next thing I got to do is cast off, and we'll be on the way. And if you'll notice here, we're kind of easing the back from the dock. I always just kind of manually push the boat away from the dock. And I have a boat hook up here that helps handle that. Water's not real deep here where we are. The boat doesn't have much of a draft since it's flat bottoms, but the water's about 4 feet deep, 3 or 4 feet deep where we are. We'll get out in deeper water around 12, 14 feet as we go down the river. So right now, I think I'm going to set up the camera kind of looking down the river. I don't run out of tape, and we'll be underway. Well, we're kind of coming out of the docking area there. Still have another part of the marina to pass out here. Don't know how good this show up with that light background and me in the shade here. But anyway, we have to stay under idle power till we get out past the buoys that you'll see out there, so we won't rock the people that have boats at the marina over here. I'll step out of the way and turn over and show you a little bit of the marina, some of the boats here. And you're probably wondering who was at the helm there. And the answer is nobody. This whole boat, especially under slow idle speeds like this, you can pretty well just step away from the helm and it'll take care of itself. I've stepped over in the sunlight here a little more, maybe it'll show up a little better. But anyway, we'll go out here and go past this last boathouse, turn down. What we're on now is called Dry Creek, runs into Roseberry Creek. And I think I said before, I had my kayak out here and told you this was part of the backwaters of Guntersville Lake, which is backed up by Guntersville Dam, which is about 35 miles downstream. And it's one of the TVA flood control and power producing dams. So let me step out of the way and we'll go a little further. What you're seeing there is one of the river islands. Those are some of the river islands that separate the backwater from the Tennessee River. And right past that ridge you're seeing there is the river. And if you look a little further out, you see a bluff area out in there. See if I can zoom in on the bluff area. I might have to go back and drive the boat. Anyway, you see some bluff area out there. And that's on the far side of the river. And that's about a 800-foot high plateau called Sand Mountain that stretches for 30 or 40 miles over toward Fort Payne, Alabama, and over toward the Lookout Mountain Valley. This is, of course, the Tennessee River Valley here. I think you might see a fisherman out there. Let's see if I can zoom in on him or not here. Let's see. There he is. He's out trying to catch one of those nice Guntersville Lake bass here on this pretty August afternoon. And I hope he's having some luck. And I'm going to have to steer the boat here for just... I don't know how much time I have on this battery or how much time I have left on the tape. Looks like the tape's okay, but I'm not sure about the battery. So I'm going to turn the camera off here in just a minute and wait till I think I'll go out and anchor out and then we'll take it from there. And you can see a little ripple on the water there. That's one great thing about getting on the lake in time of the year. Better in the warmer months than it is the colder months. And you always get a little cooling off the water. The water stays many degrees cooler than the air. And there's always a bit of a breeze, or almost always a bit of the breeze blowing across the water. So you get a little cooling effect, and you get a little speed on the boat. This whole boat, I never push it more than about 5 knots, 6 knots at the most. And it's fairly slow, but you get that with a little bit of a headwind. You get a pretty good little cooling breeze. And we're headed down Dry Creek. There's some islands down here. There's houses built all around the sides of the backwater. And here off on the right is still part of Jackson County Park. Brought along a second camera just in case. This is my older camera here. It's not high definition. Still takes a pretty good picture. It's a Sony little mini DV tape camera that I've had quite a while. I used it when I first started on YouTube, but still use it some. It does a pretty good job. It will take it in the 6x9 format, which I like. Let's see if I can see this. We got another bass fisherman going out here in front of us. See if I can locate him, and there he is. He's going out with a little bit of, you hear the motor taking off. Going out to catch him a late afternoon bass, I guess. Ooh, that was a fast zoom out. I may not show that one. I was zoomed in still. But you know, there's several things I like about being on the water. Of course, it's fresh. You're out here, very few restrictions, no road signs. And even in our rural area, this is one of the few places you can really get out and be in the wide open spaces. This will be kind of broken up because I'm having to step back to the helm and straighten up the boat. When the wind's blowing, this boat's got pretty good broadside on the wind. It'll blow it around a pretty good bit, so I have to straighten it up. But anyway, what I was saying, the good thing about being on the water, it's cooler, you get a good breeze, and you get to see a lot of wildlife and beautiful scenery, especially around here. We have mountains, low ridges all around, the water's pretty. And I like the sounds too. I'll be quiet a minute and see if you can hear the water splashing on the hull, on the steel hull. I think you can. And you probably hear the old motor droning back in the back of the boat. That's about 40 feet away, so you don't hear it too much. Let's see if I can get a shot down the side of the boat here. Shows the water passing by.